Hello, welcome to Tea Time Tuesday. This is Patrick J. Brown, Executive Director here at the Renewal Center. We are excited to have you on today. Of course, you know this is our time to rest, to reset, to renew ourselves, and to foster resilience. So good morning, good afternoon. Please, if you will, go ahead and share, go ahead and like, go ahead, excuse me, and tag others so that we can go into our time of renewal practices for the day. Excuse me, guess I need to drink my tea. Pardon me. All right, everyone. Welcome again, if you will. Go ahead and share this. We are also streaming on our new YouTube channel, the Renewal Center. I would encourage those of you that are potentially watching us on our live feed on Facebook also to subscribe to our YouTube channel. So, and please make sure that you push the bell so that you can get notifications and you can connect with us so that we can continue to deliver our content. So I want to welcome everyone today to the Renewal Center and to our Tea Time Tuesday. So go ahead and let me know that you're here. Comment, let us know that you are connected to us today. So grateful to have everyone on. So you know how we do. We focus on our awareness month. So I want to focus specifically on National Mentoring Month. January is the National Mentoring Month. You know, it's important that we pour our lives into other people, not just giving back, but giving forward. And that's what National Mentoring Month is about. It is about uniting and celebrating people who are mentors so that we can continue to develop other mentors and help drive meaningful change for young adults, for young people, for youth, but also for you and how you give your life for other people. So think about mentoring, think about your mentorship relationships and what you can do, to either be mentored or to mentor someone else. Also, we're celebrating National Creativity Month all month in January. Here at the Renewal Center, the Prophetic Center for Thought, Voice, Art, and Action, we're all about creativity. You know, everyone is an artist. Everyone has a paintbrush called their life. And what we do with it is how we're going to impact the world that we live in. So again, National Creativity Month, do something you've never done before. Create something you haven't created before. Realize that your life is a work of art and you become that paintbrush that begins to paint the world that you're impacting. So I just want to encourage you with that as well as we're focusing on these areas of awareness. So before we go forward, I want to talk about our book of the week. And you've been focusing on leadership books. And so how many leaders we got out there? And again, if you're out there, please go ahead and comment in the chat. Let us know that you're on. We're focusing on transforming leadership. And this is about Jesus's way of creating vision, shaping values, and empowering change by Leighton Ford. This particular book is really it is a classic and really is focusing on Jesus, the Christ, as strategist, as a seer, as seeker, as servant, as struggler, and as sustainer. And this particular book has those types of principles. I want to focus on one area that I thought was very interesting in this book. And again, this is transforming leadership. It talks about the marks of the vision of Jesus. And one thing that it says here was Jesus was a seer. Wow. Lived by the unseen. So in other words, he began to live from what was inside of him. Powerful. What's inside of you? Faith, perseverance, other things that may not be seen. That was one of the principles here in this book on page 105. So I just thought I'd share that. I thought that particular quote stood out to me today. So again, as we always do, our book of the week is Transforming Leadership. Jesus' way of creating vision, shaping values, and empowering in the change. And that really is one of the roles of leadership if we're going to lead effectively, especially in 2022. All right. So again, just want to remind you, we are streaming on our YouTube channel. So welcome. I want to thank Teresa for being on there. She's over there on our YouTube channel. And whoever else is out there, please let us know that you're here. We're also going to focus on our National Hot Tea Month. So we are all about tea over here. And so again, that promotes community and culture and wellness during the month of January. So we're promoting community, resilience. That's what that's about. we increase resilience by connecting with each other and beginning to build and cross-pollinate. That's important. So that's what we do, and we do it around tea. And so I want to encourage you, have a conversation perhaps with somebody you're mentoring around tea, and just sip your tea and have some engaging discourse and dialogue that'll help build resilience and strengthen each other. More than any time now, we need to turn to each other, one another, and provide an atmosphere of resilience. So if you're out there and you have your tea, please let us know in the chat, what's your tea of choice for the day? What is your tea of choice? I have some cinnamon tea here today. Just enjoying being here at the Renewal Center during my break. And so I would encourage you. It's interesting because I'm drinking out of my mug that says "Be still and know." Can't wait to get our discussion today with Carmela Head, who is our director here of Renewal here at our Renewal Center. So if you're out there, what's your tea of choice? Go ahead and put that in the comments. We got lemon and ginger. All right. Anybody else? What is your tea of choice? All right. So before we go into our renewal practice in locating ourselves, make sure you have your journal prepared, because we're going to do some reflection today, of course. So get your journal out and be prepared, because again, part of the tea time is for resetting and renewing ourselves. And we have to do that many times by the atmosphere that we create, the environments that we create. And also, so I have my journal and I'm prepared as well. Hope that you're ready as well, because again, that's making us healthy and renewing ourselves. Karen says apple cinnamon. Anybody else? What's your tea of choice for the day? All right. So before we go forward, let's go ahead and center ourselves, and we'll just do a quick renewal practice of locating ourselves. Echinacea. Yes, yes. All right. Thank you, Nicole. All right, everyone, get in a good posture, if you will. And let's locate ourselves today. All right, breathe in really good. Breathe out. Let's take another deep breath again. And breathe out. Sometimes just spending this time helps with anxiety as well. Breathe in again. And relax. See, we want to encourage you that it's important. Locate where you are. All right. And lastly, I want to do the tea of the week. Our tea of the week is lychee tea. Lychee tea. Now, this tea is fruit tea that's scented with a sweet lychee aroma. So it's mainly made with black tea leaves. And what you do is it's roasted with the lychee. And what it does, it induces a sweet scent into the tea leaves. So you can either serve it with or without sugar, or you can add milk or cream or something to it. And so it has a sweet aromatic flavor, like a rose scented grape juice. Isn't that interesting? So I think you can make bubble tea out of it. You serve it with milk. It has incredible benefits. And of course, it does have antioxidant properties, energy boosting, weight loss types of things, but it's also good with blood sugar and control. So again, if you may have to deal with anything with blood sugar, it's be good. Perhaps you can use this as a way of not having to put sugar in your tea. All right. And it's also fresh. So that is our tea of the week. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and bring on our director, Carmela Head, is going to lead us in our renewal practices for today, and look forward to connecting with you afterwards. Carmela.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Patrick, for that. That was great. I lychee tea. I'm going to take my time and figure out how I can get some of that.
Yeah, I know that's right.
Because it sounds so delicious. Welcome, everyone. I'm glad that everyone is here today for Tea Time Tuesday. Just an awesome time. I'm really excited that everyone is here. Make sure that you invite a friend. Like this broadcast today. Invite your friends. Tell them to come on and just join us today with our wonderful Tea Time community. Patrick, are you hanging out with me today, or are you going to come in?
No, you go ahead. I'm going to take my notes. So you go right ahead. All right. Thank you.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Well, I'm excited today. One of the things that Patrick talked about was having your journal today. And, we always take our time with pause, reset, and building resilience through journaling. And today we're going to have a more meaningful time of journaling today because I want to share something with you. And it's a topic that I think is so necessary. It's something that we always talk about here at the Renewal Center on Tea Time Tuesday. But one of the things that I want to focus on is one of the aspects of Tea Time Tuesday, and that's pause and being calm. And I know that we talk a lot about different ways that we could, be calm and that we can reset ourselves. I know last time I spoke on reset and building resilience, building momentum. But I'm really, really excited about this because this is so necessary. We are just living in a day and an age where we are just rushing around. There's a lot going on in our daily lives. The telephone calls, the pings on our phone, the TV. There's just a lot of things that are pulling at us at different moments of our lives and through the course of the day. And then we sometimes just need a moment to stop and savor the moment, right? To savor the moment and sometimes just enjoy what's around us. And we can do that by what I'm going to share today about the power of still. So if you know of anyone that can benefit from the power of still, invite them today to our Tea Time Tuesday so that they can take part in taking a moment to just pause, really understanding what pause really means. How many of you guys need a moment of pause? I'd like to see some hearts or some thumbs up out there because we all need a moment to retreat. We all need this moment, and we love Tea Time Tuesday because we can do that. But what about when we leave Tea Time Tuesday? What about that? Good afternoon, Prophet Hope. Glad you're joining us today. What about when we leave Tea Time Tuesday? Are we taking these renewal practices with us? And we need the moment to just stop and pause. I really am interested in showing some things to you today that I believe that will give us an aspect of what pause and calm really means. And it's called the power of still. That's right, the power of still. So I'm going to flash some things on here. I'm going to flash some things on the screen today called the power of still. And when you think of still, I know I always ask these different questions, what you think, but really, when you think of still, what do you think of? What does stillness mean to you? I would love to get some feedback today because we are just in a day and age where there's so much going on. So much is going on. So much is pulling at each and every one of us. And sometimes we just need that moment, throughout the week and even going into our weekend to just find that moment of retreat and what that actually looks like. I want to share something that I thought was really interesting. My son, he's here as our digital consultant at the Renewal Center, is a photographer. And I really enjoy watching him take pictures. And I don't know if you all have any friends or anyone that you know that are photographers, but it takes a really good eye for them to see certain things. And one of the things that I've learned from him as he's taking still shots or he's focusing in on taking a picture or a photo, is that he always focuses on the fact of whatever he's focusing on is the stillness of that thing. And I really want to share this because I believe that there are 4 things that we can do today to help us move forward in an area of being still. There's so much I believe that we can gain from being still. Walk in the park. How many of you guys have ever thought about what you saw on the driver's seat when you're driving versus when you're in the passenger side? And I thought about this the other day, that when I'm in the passenger side, you get to see so many things that you haven't seen before versus when when you're in the driving mode, you're the driver, you have to really pay attention to where you're going. And as you are in the passenger seat, you're able to zero in and focus in on things that you've never before have seen or observed before. And it's just like in daily life. I love to talk about being still because when we do get that moment to be still and savor the moment, focusing in on the moment. I'm going to show this slide really quick because I really want us to just grasp this. The power of being still is about being able to concentrate. Let me get there we go. There we are. Sorry about that. Concentrating, being able to focus and zero in. As a photographer, I'm going to leave the screen up for a second, but as a photographer takes pictures, they focus in. If you look at the little icon on the picture to the right, that photo, the photographer is able to magnify certain things and able to zero in on certain things as they are taking actual pictures. And, if we think about where we are with being still, the still shot is significant because that's where the focal point is. And sometimes because we're kind of pulled out of those great moments, we're pulled out of the moment of being in a moment of appreciating stuff or just the aha moments, we miss out on a lot of other things that we may have not observed. Like, when's the last time you really observed what it was looking like around you when you took the walk in the park or your drive home, or what a song really meant to you? I know some people say, well, I don't know about all of that. But, those are significant. Or taking the time to cultivate something that you're working on, or even cooking. I know I always talk about cooking because there are a lot of people that cook, or time to read a great book. I see some remarks coming in I want to share. Yes, Teresa saying still, no movement. That's what she believes still is. I would like to hear your feedback, those of you that are tuning in today. If you thought about what stillness means, I want to take a second and let you ponder on that, because there's so much noise going around, so much. Renita's coming here with a comment. Renita is saying, a moment of peace and calm. Yes, a moment of peace and calm, a moment to concentrate and be still. Yes, Patrick behind the scenes says, concentrate from stillness. That's right. And we need these moments of no movement and a moment of peace and calm. What would our world be like? Or what will our day be like if we didn't take the time to stop and savor the moments that we're already in, those great moments? And those are the moments that bring us back in. Those are the moments that ground us. At Tea Time Tuesday, we always locate ourselves. Those are the things that bring us in. And so I want to share the fact that concentrating, just like a photographer would, he's focusing in on some things. There's so much power in focusing. There's so much power in taking the moment to see, what is this? How is this putting me in a place to savor this moment? Because there's so many different things. I'd like you to share. What are some moments that you savor? I love to take the time. As I said, I'm in the driver. Sometimes I'm in the driver's seat. I may not see certain things if I was in the passenger side. So sometimes we have to get to a place of being still so that we could savor those great things. Moment of reflection, a moment of contemplating. And we're going to get to that next. Karen is saying, stillness to me is being in the moment. Exactly. There's so many times I've done things when I've traveled, and I'm glad that I've took the moment to visit certain sites and not rush through certain things. Or when I'm studying certain things or reading a book or observing the company of others, that I take time to listen to what they're saying. Or I'm taking the time to observe what's happening around me. Those are the moments that we savor, versus a lot of the other things that lure us in and take us into a place of hurriedness, take us into a place of going over the top. I guess that's what we were saying, when we just too much going on, where we need to just retreat and get still. I want to share something really quick here with this next slide. First, concentrate, focus in and zero in on some of the great things that's happening. And then savoring the moment. I love the fact that photographers know how to do that. They know how to capture things by just focusing in on that one thing. And when they focus in, they know how to enhance things. They know to pull out the great things in the person that's taking the picture and those qualities or whatever object that they're taking a picture of. And I think this is a great thing that we can learn to do in just our practical lives. Keisha is saying, stillness to me means calmness and reflection. Exactly. And that's what we need to do when we need to just take the time. Take the time to concentrate and focus in, and then take the time to contemplate. And I hope I got these slides together. I have a duplicate slide. Yes, here we are. To contemplate. Contemplating means to explore and to consider, to examine or to look or just to think thoroughly or profoundly at a lens about something. And I'm going back to the photographer again. A photographer also takes the scenery around him and he or them, and they consider what to magnify or what to accentuate within the picture. Consider what the background would enhance that picture. Just looking at the surroundings would make a total difference on what that picture would look like. And so as you or as we take the time throughout the week and throughout I would say throughout the continuation of where we're going throughout the day with all the things that are pulling at us, take time to contemplate and explore and consider some new things. I want to share something also. With that being said, contemplation is also allows us the time to examine what our responses would be to something. I know we talked about that. Patrick talked about that before, about how we react or respond to things. Contemplating gives us that time to explore and consider. And I like contemplating because it gives us a moment to really examine where we are. And then, when we're concentrating and focusing in on the great aha moments, we're also contemplating where we fit in the scheme of things, how we can involve ourselves, how we can explore and learn new things and do new things. And I love that. We can focus on what these meaningful things mean to us. I would like to challenge you to think about some of the things that you journaled before, some of the gratitude things that you put inside of your journals, or some of the affirmations that you've written. What are some of those things that you can draw from, that you can zero in? Those are the aha moments, the moments that you get the idea, the moments that you have an innovative idea. Because sometimes we're so caught up into everything that's going on around us, and we're like, oh my gosh, I didn't even realize that. I should have written that down, or I should have went on and did this. But because so much is happening, we don't take the time to retreat and to pour back into ourselves. And so I'm thinking that concentrating and contemplating where we fit in these great moments, just having a conversation with someone, taking the time to really listen to what they're saying and to be totally in, because I'm telling you, sometimes we have our phones and it's just pinging and going, and the TV's going, the phone is ringing. We got meetings back to back. So many things are pulling in us. And that is why we always have this moment of pause and reset at the Renewal Center, because that is so important for us to be able to get a time of quietude. We talked about building a place of vibrancy, the place that you can go to even think about, well, what is it that is drawing me in? What is it that's welcoming me? And so I'm overlapping a few things, but because we need to take the time to explore and to consider something new, to consider the whole picture. And I like that, the whole picture, because of the photographer. And then calibrate. Let's see if I can pull that slide up. Calibrate. Here we go. Adjust with precision. So we're talking about the photographer. The photographer changes his lens and uses different dials of their camera to make adjustments. So they're looking at things from different angles. What they're seeing may be totally different by using the different lenses. They're able to extract different things from the background or even within the picture that's meaningful. And so I say this is a great practice for us to use, is to make an adjustment. What are some adjustments that you can make starting today? Think of some things that you may have overlooked. I know I had to do that. I thought about some things that I overlooked that I really wanted to hone in on, but I didn't get a chance to because so much was going on. And so as we take the time to kind of back away from the rushing, to take the time to make adjustments so that it doesn't distract us from the moments that really matter. And so that's just like the photographer, make sure that they're using their lens to make adjustments to the picture that they're taking so that it necessarily doesn't distract them or distract the picture from what else is around. So I really like that analogy. I'd like to get your feedback. Oh, Aretha, thank you very much. Aretha is saying, yes, this is good. Thank you so much. We're rushing, we're jumping through hoops. Sometimes we just need to, like I said last time, pace ourselves and keep the momentum. And sometimes through keeping the momentum, it's just a fact of being still. The fact of sitting to concentrate on the aha moments, concentrating on the things that matter, the things that speak life to us. And then we're taking a moment to not just, concentrate, but to contemplate. Where am I in the scheme of all of this that's happening around me? What can I do to make things even more relevant, I would say that you're enhancing yourself, even in the midst of what you're in around, because we are so involved in so much that's happening around us that we actually become a part of it and don't realize that we're a part of all of that that's going around. So taking the time to still ourselves, taking the time to pause, taking the time of the moment of solitude will help us. And it will help us to calibrate ourselves, to make adjustments. What do I need to adjust in my life? What do I need to adjust in my workload? What do I need to adjust, whatever I'm doing? Sometimes we can need to just get out the driver's seat, and then just take another perspective so that we can see things from different angles. I'm telling you, I have done that so many times, not being in the driver, letting someone else drive, and then sitting in the passenger seat. And I'm able to see things I've never, ever seen before. And so I'm really excited about this because today I want us to take a moment to ask ourselves, what do I need to really hone in on as far as the power of being still? You hear that? Just being still, to be able to concentrate and focus in on these great moments so that we don't miss them. And then also contemplating how we can enhance ourselves and then make adjustments to life situations or whatever we feel that we can make adjustments in. So we're going to journal today, like we always do. And I am going to play a clip that will just kind of keep us in the mode of stillness. So during our time today, take a moment to contemplate, take a moment to concentrate, take a moment to calibrate your thinking, and then write whatever you need to write inside of your journal as it relates to being still. As you move forward in this year, 2022, we need some great practices to help us slow down so that we're not in overdrive, so that we're not overdoing things over the top, so that we can focus on the great moments and not miss them because we're so pulled in to everything that's around us. I know here at the Renewal Center, we always hear the sirens going back and forth, and there's a place in front of the Renewal Center where you can hear a lot of the traffic going. And sometimes we can become a part of it because we hear it so much. And so we can even equate that in our own lives. What are we a part of? What do we hear so much that we've become a part of it? And so it's a great time to just be still. Thank you, Keisha, for sharing that. Yes, I find this very rewarding to just sit and focus. Thank you so much. And Teresa is saying, getting out of the driver's seat perspective. Yes. And as we adjust our lens, as we calibrate, we see things from a different angle. We see things from a different perception. We perceive things differently. And then we have a different perspective on how we move forward. So let's go into our journal time. Grab your journals. This is your time and your tea. And just take time to concentrate, contemplate, and calibrate today. Some things that you want to do. Nita, my sister Renita, saying, thank you for sharing. I am learning that I have to be intentional about being still. Between my home life and work environment, there's a lot of stimuli. So I have to make these still moments happen for me. Thank you. Thank you, Renita, for sharing that. It's so important that we do this. Yes, to support. Oh, to support the Renewal Center, there's the information on how to share. I almost read that. But we need to take the moment to be still, be in the moment, to retreat. So here we are. Let's do this for the next few minutes. And I'm going to play the slide and just allow yourself to journal about those three things. And so here we are. You know, as I sit here and look at the screen, I'm going to hear it. As I look at the screen, sometimes it sounds very weird when things are quiet. It sounds very weird as I sit here, doesn't it? But that's what we really need to do. Take the time to listen to stillness. As you take a look at some of the slides in the screen, there's a lot of nature and there's a lot of different focal points in the picture. Even taking a look at some of these pictures within the slides are very, very calming. They bring us pause. They bring us a place of stillness. And so, even while you're writing, you can take a moment to observe some of the slides that are within the slideshow today. There's power of being still. It's a time of reflection and just relishing the moment. What moments can you relish in? What moments can you savor? Or what moments do you want to go back and kind of bring back to enjoy those moments? And you say, I'm going to put that into practice. I'm going to take time to focus in on these things. Walk in the park, you drive home, listening to edifying music or just edifying messages, and taking the time to cultivate things. What are you doing? What are we doing to be still? And how can we positively incorporate these things in our daily walk? Our daily demands call sometimes for us to retreat. And so we don't want to live in a world where there's things that just pulling at us without having some great renewal practices to help us along the way. So let's turn down the noise and become still. It will help us become more focused and more aware of what's going on around us. couple more minutes here as we continue to journal. What will you focus and zero in on? Just like the photographer is able to focus in directly on the object or the person that they're taking a picture of. We can use a lot of different aspects of the photographer and those concepts to capture. What will you capture? And how can you capture the essence of what you're engaging in? Like I was saying, listening, really doing active listening, or really doing I would say active observing what's around you that's feeding you positivity, that's encouraging you, that's enlightening you and inspiring you. And those things that ignite us that we sometimes overlook and we sometimes miss. So that's where we need to contemplate and explore and consider new things. And you can ask yourself, what can I explore? What new discoveries can I make by being still? We're going to take a few more minutes of just being still and writing in our journals. I love this moment because this is a moment that we can pour into ourselves and take time to focus, just like the slide is showing us. Explore and consider, and then adjust with precision. I'm going to go ahead and close out our time of reflection. I want to thank everyone for taking that moment, and you can continue on whenever you have time with the power of still. And I like the power of still because it doesn't cost anything but our time, to take the time to really get still so that we're not overtaxed and we're not doing too much and having so much on our plate. It's taking a moment of meaningful, doing meaningful things and to capture meaningful things and to savor the moment, just the simple things that is surrounding us every day that we tend to miss because we don't observe them all of the time. And so I really want to say thank you to everyone for taking this opportunity today to pour back into yourself. Tea Time Tuesday focuses in on pause, on resetting ourselves and building resilience. And part of building resilience is continuing to take time for contemplation and concentrating and focusing and building positivity surrounding us every day, and just some little meaningful things. Those are the things that will last, the meaningful things. Teresa is saying thank you. Being fully present in the moment of quietness is so refreshing. I agree. Teresa, you know that I agree with that. just sitting outside and looking at the trees make a difference, just that moment. Or seeing something totally new that I knew that I would have missed if I didn't slow down. Or that conversation that just really blessed my life because I took the time to listen. And so being still makes a big difference in our lives every day. I'm going to bring on our executive director and we'll bring him back on. And so we can close out our Tea Time Tuesday for today.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Camilla. That was really, really impactful and reflective. Concentrate, contemplate, and calibrate. And I think it's important, like you shared with us, to make sure that we spend our time in a place of stillness so that we can concentrate. Folks, that's what Tea Time is about.
Yeah.
So we want you to join us every single Tuesday at noon for our Tea Time Tuesdays, because what we do here, we do concentrate, we do contemplate, and we do calibrate. I like what you shared about, exploring and expanding and examining where we are when we contemplate, and also the calibration and adjusting with precision, looking at from different angles when the photographer does that. And basically, we can become the photographer of our life, but we can't do that if we're not still. So thank you so much for bringing us into that awareness with these renewal practices. Folks, I want to encourage you, make sure that you do this with your journal. Connect with us Tuesday. Before we move on, I wanted to also invite you, if this information, this type of content, really beneficial and applicable to you, please feel free to support the Renewal Center. We have a Cash App option, which is Cash Renewal Center. We also encourage you to download our mobile app from your app store. You type in the Renewal Center, you should see our logo. These are the different ways you can give to the Renewal Center. Our website, you can text the give option, text Renewal Center to 888-364-4483. We have a Cash App option, as you can see there, PayPal, or through a check or money order through the mail at P.O. Box 1381, Concord, North Carolina 28026. And of course, please make sure you download the mobile app and also follow us on our YouTube channel. So we're endeavoring as a team here to continue to provide not only just online content, but a presence here at 159 Church Street here in the historic district of Concord. If you're ever in the North Carolina area, stop by, have some tea with us, some coffee, come to our thought room in our library area, come sit down in our action room and strategize and prioritize, come into our art and our voice room and just spend some time in creation and innovation. We're here and our emphasis is the Prophetic Center for Thought, Voice, Art, and Action. So our thinking, our action, the voice that we've been given, and of course the artistic creative capacity that we all possess. So again, thanks everybody for joining us. We look forward to seeing you next week. And I'll pass it back on to you. Any last words?
Oh, well, yes. Actually, I was just sitting here thinking earlier, I said, when I did the slides and didn't say anything, sometimes we feel really strange when nothing is going on, when there's no words being spoken, and it was really great to just be able to just sit in a moment and pour back into ourselves in a place of really being still. So that was meaningful to me today.
Yeah. That's good, because sometimes we're not accustomed to the quiet, and we probably need to.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. I'm so glad that you did that. So, all right, folks, we'll just remember, connect with us. We look forward to seeing you here next Tuesday. We have some exciting month. Of course, we know February is considered Black History Month. And of course, we celebrate heritage all year. But we'll target some things next week. So we're looking forward to some renewal practices and some other additional awareness pieces that we're going to be releasing here at the Renewal Center. So again, thank you so much. Also, next Wednesday, we have our Reforming Culture series. If you ever want to join us, please make sure that you can connect with that class and that leadership session on Wednesdays, first, second, and third Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Please feel free to register using our links on all of our social media sites, as well as our website, and of course our mobile app. That's important. So thanks so much, everybody, being on. And Carmela, that was a good renewal practice today. Thanks so much for sharing it.
Thank you. We'll see everyone. And if anybody wants to come on and join us, you're welcome to come and join us and share how you like Tea Time Tuesday. So we're going to go ahead and sign off for now. Have a wonderful day. And as we say here at the Renewal Center, I am Renewal. Have a great afternoon.